Guys, good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new series of Trengo tips. We're really great that you're all here. Please let me know who we have today. Put your name there in the chat, where you're from, what company. We have a lot of visitors today, a lot of attendees, so we'd love to see who's there. Yeah, let me check. Can you hear us? You should be able to hear us. Maybe we have Kirsten in the chat. Maybe she can confirm if she can hear us. Can people hear us? Thumbs up, maybe. Let me double check.
There's always a delay. Yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Laurie. Well, that's great. So as you see, we have a chat, so you can tune in there. We have Kirsten, our colleague, on the chat, so you can ask any question you have during the webinar. Afterwards, answer some of them already, because today we're going to talk about our new custom fields. So yeah, we're really excited. So the setup is slightly different because our video hero F is not here, but we're going to do it as good as we can anyways. But welcome. I see a lot of chats coming in. I love that.
Good to have you all here.
Yeah. So yeah, the brand new custom fields. I think some of you already heard of it or tested it because it's already live. In this webinar, we're going to give some tips and tricks, some use cases. But first, we're going to dive in some of the solutions it could give you to give you some inspiration. And after that, we're going to show you how it looks. And we're going to close up with some use cases of our own, some use cases we've seen with our customers. So yeah, I would say let's dive into it. We're going to talk about those three things. So yeah, what solutions are out there? Nick, tell me.
Yeah, so first off, as Ola already said, the custom fields, that is a feature that we've already had, but we've kind of upgraded it, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. So the custom fields are already there, but with the upgrade, there's a ton of more possibilities that now are available for you. And we've marked them down in a list. And first off, I think this is one of the features in Trengo that has the most customization, the most customization options in Trengo. There's a lot of freedom with this one. So you can make custom fields, which Onno is going to talk about a bit more. But you can make custom fields based on 2 different levels, which gives you tons of opportunities to customize in accordance to your business. And the other part, another solution that custom fields can offer is that it can give you a bit more insight on what your tickets are actually about. So, for example, you might be handling certain topics, or perhaps you have a clothing store and I don't know, you want to know if there's a lot of questions coming in about orders or shipments. Yeah,
it's really about enriching your customer data, right? To have it at your fingertips.
Yeah. And talking about other systems that you might use, Trengo is helping you with all communication channels in one inbox, but it would be so nice to also have some information from your other systems that make sure that your agents can work quick and efficient. So linking other systems with the help of custom fields can be done, and Onno is again going to talk about that a bit later as well. For the fourth solution, we also think that sharing information is always an important part of any person's job. And sharing information through custom fields can actually be really handy, really quick, and really nice, because you don't have to ask a colleague all these questions. So they can do their job, you can do their job, but you're sharing information that is necessary for both of you through custom fields. Which brings us to the next point, more efficiency. All the solutions that we've given here are just going to help you out to be quicker, more efficient, and be more productive in the end. As you might have known, custom fields were already a feature, and you could use text to fill in custom fields. We have some new field types, which also include drop-downs. And with this, you can actually give options to your agents. So instead of them typing, you're going to make sure that they can choose. Choose one of the options. This gives you more valid data that is more, it's all the same data basically, so it's way easier to export it, which we're also going to talk about in one of our tips. And the other one is that custom fields can actually help you by replacing labels that you're using. So I think everybody knows what labels are, but they're placed on top of a ticket and shown in the ticket preview, which can be really handy, but sometimes you might not want all the labels like so direct and in your face, and you would rather have that information in the ticket, but a bit more like down, like not as in your face as the labels are. So you can make the decision if you're gonna use labels or custom fields, because they work nicely together, but it's up to you to decide like how much information do you want to share in front and in the back. And another new thing about custom fields is that you can now make them required, which is basically saying you need to fill this in before you close a ticket. And last but not least is automating workflows. Custom fields work well with the Flowbot, but also with rules. So you can actually make sure that based on custom fields, you can automate certain workflows. We have a full webinar as well about rules and about the Flowbot. So definitely like watch this one. And if you have any questions about those other topics, we will share a link at the end where you can find those.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I think it's really nice also to see, like, of course, for some of you that are already familiar with Trengo, we already had custom fields, of course, but it was only plain text, and most of the time you need to fill it in manually. And we hope after this webinar you get inspired with some new ideas, to just make your life easier as a sales agent, right? That's what we're trying to achieve here. So the new custom fields, I'm super excited to show this one. Before I'm going to dive in, I think this is some of the greatest things that come out of the new custom fields. There are loads of new options. Think about text, drop-down, checkboxes, numbers, hyperlinks, dates, name it all. You can include it in your custom fields, and they just look way better. Also setting them up. So I'm excited. I'm going to go to Trengo to show you how it looks. So in Trengo, when you go to settings, you go to custom fields, you already land like directly in like our new navigation panel where you have like a great overview of all your custom fields. If you have Trengo already in place and you already have some custom fields, you might have noticed the difference. But now they're categorized really well. So they're categorized in different stages. So you have different types. And the thing I love the most is that you can directly change the sort order. So if you have set up like multiple custom fields, you can say, okay, I find the customer ID not as important as order status, so I want that one to be above, and that will directly influence the way you see it in your overview. We're going to go back to that. In a bit.
So this order reflects directly into what you see in the right sidebar.
Yeah, and as you know, we have the different not types, but the different custom fields. We have ticket custom fields, we have customer fields, profile fields, and user fields. So I'm going to tell you more about those different when we're going to create one together. But yeah, first I wanted to put some attention to this new overview page, which I think has improved a lot. But yeah, let's create a new custom field, right? So when you create a new custom field, you can of course give it a title. So let's say if we put test Trengo, this will be the title of the custom field. This is literally what you see next to your ticket as a title. There you can choose for the category, such as ticket, contact, profile, and user. All the ticket fields will be attached to the specific ticket, so based on the ticket number. The contact field will be connected to the contact. So an email address or a phone number will be, if that contacts you again and again, like in different tickets, this field will always be there with the right contact. And profile fields will be attached only to the profile whenever you attach contacts to a profile. The user one is slightly different. That's really for your employees. So think about a job title when you want to include that in your signature automatically. Think about maybe working hours or part-time, full-time, you name it. That's really about the users. Then of course you can select what channels you want the custom field to be active on, because maybe you have some custom fields you only want to appear when you're on WhatsApp, for example. So here you can select like the different channels. If you don't select anything, it will be visible for all channels. And of course, this will.
We also use this for like we have our team set up, right? So we have a support team, sales team, and everybody works in Trengo. But every team has their own channels. So with this, we can make tons of custom fields. but the support team will only see the custom fields that are for them because we're working on a certain channel, which really helps to keep your right sidebar.
Yeah, otherwise it gets otherwise if you have more custom fields per team or per channel, it can add up. So this indeed is like a great opportunity to keep it nice and clean. To give it a good overview. What good is to know though that the channels only apply for ticket and contacts because those are the only fields that really are attached to a specific ticket and so channel. This is not the case with profiles or users. And then the field types, that's I think the most exciting part if you ask me. Here we have a bunch of new possibilities. Before it was only possible to put in text or numbers, but now we have some different options such as text, which I think is everybody's familiar with, but also a drop down. So they can kind of create a drop down with different options. So people can only choose out of maybe 2 or 3 options. So you are sure that people are giving the same kind of answers on certain custom fields. What is really nice is that you can kind of create a placeholder. This is I'm going to show you a bit in the tickets. It's kind of like an example text, so you can give people kind of an indication of what should be there or an example, so your agents know exactly what to do. So let's put in test for now. Another one which I really like, and also Nick mentioned this one, you can make them required, and by making them required, you cannot close a ticket before filling this in. So this will really boost your data and your internal communication. And what you see in the bottom is it also automatically creates an identifier. This will come in handy whenever you want to add custom fields in your auto replies, or for example, in your signature from your email. So this is also a great opportunity to have that, but we'll go back to that later. Yeah,
this also helps you out with if you're working with the API. This is also the identifier is something that you will need to start working with the API. And as Anna said, you can use this identifier on the category for user. So it's only for that, but then you can say okay, for example, the job title or the business hours, you can actually fill that into the signature of your agents.
Yeah, exactly. So that's perfect. And to give you a little sneak peek on the custom fields, well, this, for example, how they look like. The one we just created was Trengo test, and we will have a drop down. And you will notice that I can fill it in, and I can choose from the different options that I gave. This is the one I created with the three tests. So this, also the one I didn't mention, also date is a new one. So you can insert a date, think about maybe expiry date or a date of purchase, date of last contact, you name it, be creative. So this is where they end up. So as you can see, it also looks a bit cleaner, more put together. So you have the different fields, contact fields, all in one place. And if I would want to close this ticket, it is required, but then Nick's going to tell you more about it later. So this is a quick view of the overview that you can have. You can customize as you want. You can hide them or remove them or add them. You can change the different order. And I think it's a great way to enrich your customer data to make sure you have all the information at your fingertips. Yeah. But I think that's quite it. That's the basics of custom fields. Yeah. So let's dive into some use cases.
Yeah. So first up, we've already touched upon this as well, sharing information across teams. I think custom fields can really help you, especially when you're handing over tickets or you have a team of support agents that are all gonna work together, but they're taking over each other's tickets. And with custom fields, you can just fill in information, make sure that all the necessary information that the customer has given you is saved in a nice place where everybody can access it. So if we go to Trengo, I think you might have already seen it, but for this case, we kind of want to give you an example to show you how this could work. So imagine we are a perfume company and we have customers coming in, and these customers are sharing information with us. So we're asking questions about okay, but what type of scent do you typically like? Or have you bought a previous perfume that you liked really well. All this information is really handy to save, because if the customer comes back for the next time, you already have that. And with custom fields, you can actually make sure that this is all filled in. So for example, if we're talking about like the send, you would say, yeah, a customer agent can fill it in, but wouldn't it be nicer to make sure that when a customer actually explains to you, like, oh yeah, I typically like Oriental or Woody or Fresh or anything like that you can just choose an option. And I think the easiest part in this would be as well, if you have categories on your web shop already, use the same ones so that everybody's clear on, okay, this customer typically likes the Oriental scent, and that matches with all these types of perfumes that the customer agent is aware of. Like a previous perfume, you can just share the URL, perhaps of your own web shop, perhaps of somebody else's web shop, but then you can access it, and it's nice information to have so that you can help the customer out better and quicker, because you don't have to like look back at it again. There's also the option to like perhaps they want to order before a certain date, and I don't know, like there's a birthday or something, and I want to like make sure that the order needs to be put in for this date, because otherwise they're not going to order, or well, the sky is the limit basically.
Yeah.
And also a nice one which kind of fits this example is that you have the checkbox. So if a customer has already bought something at our shop before, we can just mark it as, hey, this is an existing customer or has already bought. But you can also be a bit more creative with this. Like, let's say there's a certain flow in your order that you're actually checking the boxes like, okay, they're on status 1, status 2, status 3. So yeah, basically you can really make it fit for your own company.
Yeah, that's also what I love about custom fields, right? Like, it's, of course, every company has their different needs, they have their different ways of communicating, they have their own workflows.
Yeah.
And I think custom fields really enables you to just create that workflow inside of Trengo. And that can look different in any company. I mean, we use also a lot of different ways to field. So to the next topic, right?
Yep.
Nick,
yeah.
Required.
So we already touched upon this. I think you've already seen it, but here's like a quick side note again that we're all human, right? When we work in tickets as well, and I think this is such a handy feature because I'm working on a ticket, I'm closing it, and I sometimes just forget to fill in the information that is needed from me. And with this, it's actually really easy because when I close the ticket and I haven't filled in the information that is asked from me, I will get a notification, like a pop-up will show, and I can fill it in. And this makes sure that whenever you close a ticket, all the required information is there, which is, again, we use it a lot because we are working with getting more data out of the inbox, and it helps us to make sure that every closed ticket gets some sort of information.
Yeah.
And it's really depending on your workflow and if you think the information is actually really, really necessary or not. And some of you might know that we also have the option for a ticket result. And this actually replaces the ticket result in a better sense, because this makes sure that a custom field needs to be filled in, but only on a certain channel, while the ticket results apply for the whole inbox. This might be a good one to look into if you're using ticket results. Custom fields might suit your needs a bit better, but I think it's just a really nice, it's just really handy. Like, we're all human, we forget, and this just helps you out a great deal. Yeah.
Also to make sure you have your data, if you're looking up for something. I think this is a great feature. I love it as well. So that's here a little gify that explains it. So up to the next one, take automation to the next level. I already saw some questions coming in like, hey, when do you fill in this customer related information? There are a lot of options. If you already use Trengo for a while, you know we have a flow built in place, which is a bot on your website that asks questions and you can interact with it. With the flow, but you can also set up questions. You can ask questions to your customer before they even start a chat or before they even are assigned to a sales agent or customer service agent, such as, hey, what's your name? What's your order number? What's your interest in the product? If we keep it to the perfume company, like, hey, what kind of smell is your preferences? And customers can fill in this data while they're going through their flow build. and this flowbot can automatically insert this information in the custom fields. But this is also possible with a pre-chat form, for example. So there are more ways to already automatically let customer fill in this required information, so you don't need to ask it yourself. So I think this is a great way of automation. So this gives you like a bunch of opportunities to collect data even quicker and faster. And what I also love about it is that there are a bunch of opportunities with rules, because now in rules you can also include these new custom fields, obviously. So you can take actions based on the certain custom field.
Yeah, on the conditions.
So rules, if you're not super familiar with rules, check out our other webinar. We also have a webinar about rules, and there's some great Help Center articles about it. But in rules, you can automate certain actions, right? So if this happens, then I want this to be happened after that. And what I love here is that in the conditions of customer fields, from rules, you also have custom fields. So if we go, for example, to custom tickets, you can here select the different, the different custom fields that you have created. So you can say, okay, head and onboarding, if it equals the certain option, or if it equals a certain customer ID or certain input, you can say, oh, if that's the case, if that's true, then I want this to happen. So I want to forward the email to someone, or I want to reply, I want to assign it to a different team. So in this way, you can kind of be more creative with rules as well, because there are more options in custom fields, so they are in rules. And the other thing that I really love as well is that with custom fields, you also kind of broaden your possibilities with working with integrations and connecting the API, because every custom field has a custom has an identifier. So for this, you can also insert certain data from maybe your CRM or etc.
So, like customer ID could be something that you already fill in based on the other system. Yeah.
So Kirsten will share you a link with a developer space, developer.trengo.com, where there's also a little part of this on how this works and how you can maybe set this up yourself together with your developer team. But yeah, I just think that's a really nice way, and also the one you explained, Danik, with which I think I heard as well from some of the customers. Like, I would like to have a URL link to my CRM system. Like in your CRM system, most of the time you also have like certain pages that belong to a certain company or a certain person. You can make them required. Make sure that that your service agent fill it in here, so you can always link to this website or URL. This is a website for now. But yeah, so automation, take it to the next level, explore the different information.
Yeah, I think
less slides.
Yeah, I think
keep it there.
Kind of concludes. You can do the next one. Kind of concludes our webinar about custom fields. Might be a bit shorter than normal, which we do. Are more focusing on getting it short and sweet as much as we can. If you still have any questions, of course, Kirsten is going to answer a few of them. If you have any questions afterwards that you're like, I have a specific use case and I'm not entirely sure how to set this up, be sure to reach out to us. You can just email us at team@Trengo, or start a chat or WhatsApp or anything. We're glad to help you out. Please give us as much as information from your side so that we can think along with you. And also I see some questions about webinars. You can find the page here as well. So every webinar that we host is going to be included on trengo.com/resources, where you can also find a lot of blogs and different articles about basically any feature in Trengo. You can also find the rules and the Flowbot webinar there. And to answer your question, you don't really need to do one before the other, because they're kind of all based on their own feature, but they do interlink. And also all the articles shared in the chat can also be found on help.trengo.com. And yeah, our YouTube channel is also there for shorter clips, but you can also find our webinars there. Yeah.
Of course, we have these wonderful resources, but of course, we are here as well as a team. Yeah. We have a wonderful team that can help you. So feel free to reach out to us via team@trengo.com, or send us a message via the website widget. And don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, because we try to promote our webinars as well via LinkedIn. We share amazing content. So if you want to be up to date with the latest information from Trengo, go ahead and follow us on LinkedIn as well, of course. But yeah, that's it. Nice and sweet. We're in half an hour. Thanks everyone for joining the webinar. We're gonna maybe leave the chat a little bit open so Kirsten has a chance to answer maybe a few less questions, but I think most of them she already answered. And we hope we learned, we teach you something about custom fields, inspired you a little bit. Yeah, and to just start working with them, and like if you do, again, if you have any questions, do reach out to us. We're glad to help you out. And I would say, enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Thanks for joining.